And we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fresh Air Podcast. We're here with a legend, Mystery, and his wingman, Rob Baxter. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Fresh Air Podcast, man. We're back. We have a legend in the house. We're here with Mystery and his wingman, Rob Baxter. Guys, this is an interview 2 years in the making.
Yes.
This is probably one of the most, I would say, requested, anticipated, and for me, from a personal level, important interview that we've ever done. When you talk about the red pill game, female psychology, dating, all this other stuff, it always originates with one name, and that name is Mystery. And we got his longtime wingman in the house as well. So, yeah, guys, welcome to the pod. We know who you guys are. I'm not even going to go into announcements because I want to just get right into it.
Yeah.
Can you guys introduce yourself to the people for those that don't know who you guys are?
Certainly. Mystery in the house. Eric Von Markovic, 52 years old.
Can't even tell.
I'm from Canada. I'm Canadian, born and raised, guys.
Shout out to Canada, man. And Rob?
Shout out also now to my wingman of over 15 years from the UK. This is Baxter.
Hi, guys. Yeah, we've been gaming all over the world for about 300 boot camps nearly for about 15 years. And I started in 1996 or 1997. So, yeah, I'm born to the game.
No, that's awesome. So I guess I could start with, so how did you guys get into this? Because you guys have been doing this for a while. Pickup used to be an underground thing that very few people knew about. It was kind of like a cheat code, and it was kind of like a, well-kept secret. And you guys blew up with the VH1 reality show, The Pickup Artist. But how did you guys get started in this field before all the fame, before the TV, and before, being on TV and everything else like that?
Well, for myself, I started in Toronto. Mm-hmm. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 21, so that's somewhat of a late bloomer. Mm-hmm. And I caught up since. No, by the time I got 25 years old or so in Toronto, I found myself having success with women, and I started teaching my friends my secrets. I also wanted to extend myself to meeting other pickup artists that would come and visit me or that I would go and see. And that led to friendships with pickup artists around the world, getting a chance to watch them game, as well as them getting a chance to learn from me. So what a win-win situation. Baxter, what's your background?
A friend, when I was 19, he handed me some tapes to listen to on seduction, and it was all very day game based and NLP based. So 6 months later, I just thought I need to learn how to do night game, how to do this in the bars and the clubs and so on. So I just came up with crazy ways of doing things and meeting people, and literally that was it. I ran with it as if it was the only way.
Gotcha. So, Mr., you have a book, which I've referenced on this podcast literally hundreds of times probably at this point. We've had, over 1,500 videos, and I've definitely mentioned it at least once a week at this point. It's a legendary book, The Mystery Method. Can you tell us what that book entails and what it covers? Like there's, the 7 attraction triggers, the importance of, being a leader of men and all these other things. Can we kind of give a quick overview of what the Mystery Method is? And
certainly.
Yeah.
is a book that I wrote over 25 years ago. The book has not changed much in the last 25 years. It's sound, it's quite solid. Everyone is giving me positive feedback to this day on that book. But I have evolved my training. So while that book is about the structure of a pleasing love story, the structure of a pickup, from meeting her to beginning a sexual relationship, what we call courtship, that book is strongly focused on the structure of pickup. But there are additional keys to proficient pickup. And another key is material to fill in the structure. The material is the stuff we actually say in field, in the nightclub environment, to the groups of people that we interact with. That material is something that you can find if you don't know what to say, for instance, on how to open. I have written a book on openers called Hey Guys, and that's available on my site. We can talk about that later. Things have changed also in that I've written a book called Game Changers. So since that first book, The Mystery Method, both Baxter and I teach game-changing ideas. One of the greatest game changers, while I'm on this topic, that I think you'd find interesting is noting that there are two narrative arcs to choose from in a pickup. You can have the woman chase you, which I believe is better, or you can have the man chase the woman. Having the woman chase the man is entirely different from the other way around. And our game, both Baxter and I, are focused on that type of game.
Yeah.
If you were to change and focus on that type of game, your game would improve quite dramatically. Mm-hmm. That's one difference in the new stuff we teach.
That's good.
So in the book, you mention, and we could go into like the different, like, opening a set, what that means, obviously stacking material, having cool stories, etc. Can we talk about what the attraction triggers are? If I'm not mistaken, I believe there were 7.
Well, I teach a top 5.
Okay.
I'm sure there are many. There are maybe 30 of them.
Yeah.
We can go into, minutia, but the top 5 to me are, number 1 is pre-selection.
Bam. Okay.
You can save the step of having to get to know, or rather, a woman can save the step of having to get to know you if she sees that you are attractive to other women. If they see you with women, you have what we call pre-selection. And that is, in my opinion, 80% of attraction. Mm-hmm. Now, there are additional attraction switches. There's leader of men, protector of loved ones, having a willingness to emote, and showing that you're a successful risk taker. Those are the top 5 in my book, literally.
Guys, in the chat, get your pens and papers out because we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff like this. So I'm going to write, so risk taker, leader of men, protector.
Protector of loved ones. Uh-huh. If she becomes a valued member of your social circle, she too will be protected by you and your social circle. That's quite powerful. Mm-hmm. Becoming friends with Will Smith and having his resources available widens and improves your chances of survival, and that's important in life.
Yep.
So risk taker,
that's attraction.
Protector, pre-selection, leader of men, and then what was the last one again?
A willingness to emote. Oh, okay. Successful risk taker is the last one.
Willingness to emote. Can you explain what willingness
to emote is? To show a rich range of emotion.
Okay.
Not to just monotone it and be too cool for school, or
charisma.
Take your smile and it never goes away. So they can't trust your expressions.
Gotcha.
You want to show a rich range of expression and emotion in your storytelling. It's much more captivating.
Now, real fast. So you mentioned, being a risk taker, protector of loved ones, pre-selection, leader of men, willingness to emote, which, kind of you can say that's like charisma, charm, being animated, being someone that's able to convey a story in an interesting manner. Now, when you, in your book, you talk about approaching sets, which a set is like, multiple women for the audience that might be wondering. Multiple women, maybe there's even some guys in there. And what you're doing is you're coming in, introducing yourself, and you're telling stories that demonstrate these 5 attraction triggers that you just mentioned. And you're kind of like humble bragging about it, and people can come to that logical conclusion that you exhibit these traits through the story. But then there were other things you mentioned as well, like pulling them to another venue. Can you kind of go through that process real quick, as like from opening a set all the way to closing the deal?
Oh, if you'd like, that's a set of phases that fill the timeline of your pickup. Let's zoom in. Let's discuss the phases. Before we get to the 9 linear phases in a successful courtship, let's talk about the 3 main stages.
Okay.
You see, there's a beginning, middle, and ending phase to each of the 3 stages. That's why there are 9. Otherwise, there's only 3 main stages. And I think we can all agree that the stages have to happen in order. First, the first stage is attraction. We have to have traction before the second stage, which is comfort. Building comfort with someone with no attraction leads to let's just be friends.
Yep.
So we want attraction first. But now you can't jump over comfort and compromise your comfort and go straight to the third phase, or stage rather, which is seduction. You must go in order: attraction, then comfort, then seduction. The idea behind this is scientific in nature. It's backwards rationalized from that which worked. It's logical to trigger attraction first, mutual attraction, so you can demonstrate that you're attracted to her as well, and then move on to comfort, building a growing comfort, familiarity, intimacy, at the very least, connection, which is really the core of comfort, is building connection, removal of lack of discomfort, removing discomfort. That's what comfort's about. And the interesting thing is, if you have attraction and comfort, quite likely by then, she'll seduce you. Women are better seducers than men, generally, at least better than me. So I like mutual seduction, or I would like to be seduced. You have attraction and comfort, you'll get to seduction. Now, what we've done, or what I've done, is I've taken these 3 main stages, which you cannot all do at once. You can't open in seduction, or you could try. But if you get a no, how many no's do you have to get until you start learning that it's actually almost offensive to open in seduction? So let's now zoom into the first 3 phases, which is the beginning, middle, and ending of the attraction stage. The first is A1, the second is A2, the third is A3. I've just named them so we can talk about them. So we can then, once we learn the objectives of each of these phases, we can take material, these are the gambits, the words we say, the material we use to convey our personality, and we bolt them into the proper phases. So A1, the objective is simply to open, to initiate a conversation with a group of people you haven't met before. Now, 2/3 of all approach scenarios are the 3 set, are a group of 3 people, guys or girls. That's a mixed set. That counts as a 3 set. So you're going to have to work groups. So focus, instead of trying to pick up a girl all by her onesie, and you never meet her friends, she never meets your friends, which is quite, odd. It feels uncomfortable, almost damn near creepy. Meeting her friends, and then her friends meeting your friends, and you're getting to know each other that way. That's much more. It gives more potential to a love story, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Following A1, opening the set using the material of openers, and I've written a book. Hey guys, it's a book of openers, 60 plus openers, more than enough to handle a myriad of approach scenarios. Once we've done A1 and we've opened successfully, 15 to 30 seconds in is all it takes, we move forward to A2, which is the core of attraction, where I'm going to demonstrate higher value, DHV, demonstrate higher value to her, and elicit, draw out of her IOIs, and her meaning the woman of interest within that group.
Mm-hmm.
Once I have 2 or 3 indicators of interest, that's, a pattern is forming that she's demonstrating interest in me. I will then slow it down and say, is there more to you than meets the eye? And get her to qualify me. Now, that one gambit, is there more to you than meets the eye? It's just one example of a gambit. There are many qualifiers, but that's one example of a qualifier. That qualifying is so important, by the way, that it is a phase, not just a gambit, not just a game piece. But if you run 4 or 5 gambits that are qualifier gambits in the 3rd phase of A3, you will complete the objective of the phase, which is to allow her to feel like you're attracted to her.
Mm.
It's the mirror opposite of A2. In A2, you're DHVing and she's IOIing, giving indicators of interest for you showing value. And in A3, the opposite is happening. You're getting her to DHV you so that you can then perhaps positively misinterpret everything as awesome and IOI her for having done so. Make sense?
Yes, you're rewarding good behavior.
3 phases of pickup, and that completes attraction. Once you've done that, once you've finished qualifying her for 8 to 12 minutes on average, you will move into a lock-in position, a sit-down position, grab yourself a seat with her and her friends if necessary, if not isolating her from her friends, 10 minutes in with permission from the peer group, and then you're in comfort. And that's the first phase of comfort is C1. And you're on to the comfort and leading off to seduction over time. There's more to it, but we can definitely have zoomed into the first part, which is pickup. A1, A2, A3, move to C1. Every set, A1, A2, A3, move to C1. A1, open, false time constraint. A2, DHV, neg. Prime her to want to qualify herself. Then A3, qualify her. Move the set. Then C1, start building comfort with comfort building gambits. If you do that successfully enough times, you will master the game.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go, guys. And now you see why he's a legend. And everyone that you know that's in this space, that's helping guys with getting women, typically is following that structure to some degree. This is like the main rubric that a lot of people built their game off of. So just to recap, attraction, comfort, seduction are the 3 big components. And then within attraction, you break it down to 3 other levels. You got A1, which is opening the set, approaching them, saying hello with your opener, whatever it may be, which mine used to be, hey, you're almost as cute as me, haha, right? Break it with kind of a funny situation, like a funny pickup line, right? Then you demonstrate high value, brag, not necessarily brag about yourself, but do it through, telling stories or whatever. And then she shows indicators of interest. I know there was a bunch that you would put in your book, touching her hair, if I'm not mistaken, you'd call that preening, scratching her arm like this, looking up at you. There was some other IOIs you had mentioned in the book. And when she shows this, then you qualify her, and then you try to move the set, get her to follow you, and then have that one-on-one conversation to build comfort. So that's kind of a summary of what he was just saying, guys. And so, what did you say something? Oh,
I had a question actually, Mister, if you don't mind. So when it comes to the game
Please.
and meeting women, obviously your friends are going to be around you. Select friends. How do you choose a good wingman to be your partner? Like Rob, for example.
Well, Rob has come from a long distance. He's come from heaven. And he is an angel walking on earth. And we do good works together everywhere we go. And we travel city to city, country to country. We've gone around the world many times over. Right, buddy?
Yeah.
So,
well, Facebook told us we'd been to about 300 cities together, so that was a while back.
and that was a while back. So how do you find a good wingman? Well, in my opinion, a lot of people try to, force it and find a good wingman online. I think you'll find each other where beautiful women are. You'll find each other. You're going to meet a guy with beautiful women on his arms, and you're going to have beautiful women on your arms, and the two of you are going to wink at each other, knowing that you guys are living good lives. And that's how you'll meet your next wingman, in field. That's
a good
point.
point.
That's great.
That's kind of like how me and Fresh met, because we both were dealing with the same situation, like with the same types of girls here in Miami, and we instantly bonded over that, because it's very rare to find another guy that knows his way around, women. So when you do find it, you're like, okay, if this guy's here with women, he clearly knows what he's doing, because it's so few, few guys can actually do it. So that's actually a really good indicator to see if someone's knows what they're talking about.
Yep.
Game knows game.
Absolutely. So Mystery, we went over the attraction. Can we talk about comfort a little bit? Because I think this is something that a lot of guys kind of mess up, where they build too much comfort and the girl friend zones them, or they don't build enough comfort, they hook up with the girl, and then she gets buyer's remorse, and she doesn't want to necessarily see you again because you didn't build up the comfort. And I know, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong, the comfort building stage is about 7 hours? 7 hours, if I'm not mistaken, in your book?
Well, a general solid game pickup that is not a fool's mate pickup where you win chess in 4 moves and think you're a master when your opponent is merely naive.
Yeah.
Playing a solid game is roughly 4 to 10 hours.
Okay.
If you're under 4 hours, you're compromising her comfort levels. Remember, it's based on her comfort levels. So don't think you're a master because you betted her in 1 hour for her to get buyer's remorse then, right? And unless you have multiple sexual liaisons with her, it's not a sexual relationship. So in other words, if you have a one-night stand and you can't be with her again because she chooses not to see you again, to me, that's still an abysmal pickup failure.
Okay.
Right? Because this is love game. The idea here is to be so lovable that she gives her body to you as a pleasurable experience, as a shared experience, because she loves you. It's much more powerful than just trying to bed a girl quickly.
Yeah.
Right? So 4 to 10 hours is basically with the average of 7 hours is basically a solid game pickup. And this has been confirmed by dozens upon dozens of pickup artists around the world. So if you hit the 7-hour rule, if you follow that, you shouldn't compromise her comfort too much. Also, don't go too long. If you go past 10 hours, you're accumulating by the minute like a lawyer would. If you go past 10 hours, then you can fall into the let's just be friend zone.
Gotcha.
So 7 hours is a good general rule. If you're only 2 hours in, don't sexualize it that much yet. You may be in the wrong location anyway. And that brings up comfort. C1, the beginning of comfort. C2, the middle. And C3, the ending. C1 is a part of the attraction location, the C1 location. It is the smoking section where it is quiet, where you can have a chat. It is at your table, not on the dance floor, not by the bar, maybe at the bar even. You can sit down and get intimate with the person, but really at your table, you can get intimate with the person if you're there. If you don't have a table and you want to sit at a table, I can tell you how to do that too. Remind me in a moment.
Okay.
C2 is a separate location from the C1 location. C1 location is the comfort location built into the attraction location. It's just so you can build enough comfort to affect a bounce or a time bridge, that is getting her number or contact information and a reason to see each other again. There are 2 sides to a time bridge. You don't just get her number. You get her number and a reason to see each other again. And then you bridge over the time apart so you can continue gaming with her, right? C1, you just have to build enough comfort to get to C2. C2 is its own comfort building location, like for instance, Mel's Diner on Sunset Boulevard. The neat thing about that place was that it was right underneath Project Hollywood, where we lived. And you've perhaps heard about Project Hollywood in the book The Game by my good friend Neil Strauss.
Yeah.
Think how logical that is when we then bounce to C3, which is my living room.
Mm-hmm.
So we would just have to walk up the road from our comfort building eatery to get to C3. Following C3, where you're becoming intimate with her. See, in C2, it's connection, but in C3, it's intimacy. You then move forward to seduction.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope mutual seduction. If you've done everything right, she's going to be very receptive. If you take the time, she'll be very receptive. S1 begins, arousal. S2, handling any last-minute resistance issues. Hopefully, all of it will be taken care of by the 7-hour rule. It's based on her comfort levels, not yours. The phases are hers, not yours. When you're in A1, she's in A1. When you're in A2, she's in A2, etc. And the last phase is S3, which is, what is that?
We know what that is.
Sex.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is
what about S2? What about
sex.
S2?
It's beginning a sexual relationship. S3.
What was S2? Because I know S1 is arousal. What was S2?
S2 is LMR, handling last minute
okay,
resistance.
my bad. Dealing with LMR.
Yeah, it's actually in many ways maybe it has to be reviewed again. LMR, because you shouldn't be getting LMR. The only reason why you get LMR is because she has some discomfort, and usually it has to do with not knowing you well enough.
Yeah.
So one of the greatest game plans you can have is instead of working a set, we call it working a set, and then isolating your woman of interest and just sitting with her for 5 hours, I would rather move the set, move the girl and the set to many different locations to create more memories.
Yes.
Right? Like the smoking section, or upstairs to meet my friends, or let's go to the bar to grab my next drink. Let's go check out if the DJ is someone I know. Things to do in the club. But also you can say, we're going to the next venue. Dexter will be there. Come join. So another memory is formed. At the end of the night, she'll be in bed with you, wondering, do I really know this guy? And she'll be flooded with memories of interactions that have taken place. So when you meet a group of people, you're going to want to merge that group at some point into other groups, not only for social proof, but to create greater memories for everyone. Because each new person that she meets is another memory, and you get to be the social butterfly and introduce her to others.
Yeah, so it sounds like
some of my thoughts.
Gotcha. So it sounds like you're going to give her experiences where she's going to remember you as the person giving her that experience. You escalate slowly but surely to the end point over time. It sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. No.
It's what we call solid game.
Yeah.
So yeah, and guys, you guys just literally got like a quick little summary on how this goes. So quick recap for the audience, and I even wrote this stuff down. So you got 3 main components: attraction, comfort, seduction. In attraction, it's A1, open. A2, demonstrate higher value, DHV. A3, make the girl qualify for you. Then you move on to comfort, taking her somewhere else, right? Moving her somewhere, getting a bit more intimate. C2, separate location, bounce her out of the club, maybe go to an eatery, whatever it may be. C3, your house. Then you go into seduction, S1, arousal. Then S2, dealing with last minute resistance, LMR. And then S3 obviously is closing the deal. So that is like kind of the overview that I would say pretty much any guy that's dealing with chicks or is a coach to some degree or whatever, they're typically following this rubric to some degree. So
every success story you've ever had has gone through those phases.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have been successful with those, whether you knew it or not. So it just rings true to a lot of people who go, read the first book that I wrote, The Mystery Method. Again, how to get beautiful women into bed. The other books go off into material, they go off into delivery aspects. These are keys, by the way, to proficient pickup. Structure, what we just covered, is one of the keys, very important, but it's not to diminish the importance of the second key, material. Material that meets the objectives of each of the phases. So we need openers, we need DHV material, we need negs, we need qualifier questions, we need to know how to move the set. There's several gambits for moving the set. We're going to need comfort building gambits. These are clever stories and jokes, laughter in your set, because after all, the best pickup artists in the world have a laugh track. They all have a laugh track in their sets. I've watched them game successfully, personally, and there's a laugh track in their sets. So that might be a game changer for you. If you're not making them laugh, you might be doing something wrong, son. You may not be smiling on the open. Got to smile on the open. It increases the chance of success by a good 300%.
Gotcha.
What other thoughts do we have?
Yeah. So, and this structure that we just went over, you broke this down and kind of went over this on the VH1 show, The Pickup Artist. And I remember watching this in high school, taking notes, being like, this is revolutionary stuff. Reading the book, like, wow, right? Because this is stuff that no one talked about back then. Can you tell us about how that show came to be? What was it like being on TV, being on VH1? Because back then there was no internet like that, right? There wasn't social media. So if really the only way to be famous is like to be on TV and, do with the main TV networks. What was that like, and what inspired you to do that show?
Okay. Well, in many ways, it was a social experiment. It was an experiment. It wasn't something I was, needing to achieve. But when I get myself focused on a project, I seem to relentlessly attack it over however long it takes to get it complete. I'm that way. I focus however long it takes. Mm-hmm. So I did write a one-page treatment that turned into a 7-minute non-airing video that conveyed the essence of the project. And that led to a non-airing pilot episode. And that got us the first season. So in many ways, you could say I created it. However, I did work with a production team, Three Ball Productions, and they had already produced Beauty and the Geek. So they were so bloody professional. They knew what they were doing. You've watched the show. Yep. It's a good show. It's a good American reality TV show, The Pickup Artist. If you haven't seen it, look online. You'll find it using your magic keys. Very proud of it. I did, I did something that made my mother proud before she passed away. She got to see the entire show with me once. Many years later, she got to see it with me and was very proud of what I had achieved. Then we did another non-airing video to introduce the other wing person, in this case, a woman named Tara. And that got us season 2.
Gotcha.
So instead of running a season 3, I went to England and raised my daughter, who was, I believe, 2 years old at the time. So that was my season 3. I made my decision of what was important at that time. Following that, I then started traveling with this joker here, Dexter, and we have traveled the world doing, just like in the TV show, teaching men the glorious art of the cold approach pickup.
If you were able to turn back,
never taught them.
If you were able to turn back the clean back.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Oh, we're back.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So you did the TV show, and obviously, it was all over television. You basically opened up a door that no one had known about. How did your life change after the show in comparison to prior?
Well, I have firmly placed myself as a cultural icon of the 2000s, of the mid 2000s. And
agree.
I'm very pleased about that. That's thanks to doing talk shows such as Jimmy Kimmel, Chelsea Lately, Conan O'Brien a couple times. Those did, in fact, change the way people treat me. They come up to me knowing me, and they know that I'm a social being, so they come with their best foot forward, wanting to meet me and having read my materials. I'm very grateful that people are giving their best selves to me when we meet. You know, we do picture exchanges, the Instagram exchanges, getting them, you know, back into the fact that we're training around the world and they could be a part of it. So if you want to be a part of, for instance, next is Barcelona, go check out askmystery.com. That's where we begin the process of pulling you into the world of cold approach pickup, and it opens doors.
Gotcha. So, Mister, I got to ask this. You know, obviously, you mentioned that you were a figure from the 2000s, which, yes, I would definitely agree that you were all over television in the mid 2000s, definitely pioneering something new that no one knew about. But my question is, obviously, the structure is the same: attraction, comfort, seduction. But now, in 2024, with the explosion of the internet, social media, dating and meeting women has changed significantly, right? The days of going out and cold approaching, people still do it, but there's a lot of, you know, more and more people are meeting each other online. How would you say you've adapted your game and your structure to the new normal in which we live in a social media world?
Well, I think that the social media world is largely an excuse to not getting to the party. You can come up with many excuses why you're not going to get dressed and go to the public gathering and interact with other people in real time live. You can simply not get to the party. And I'll tell you, no one misses you. They're at the party. The hot women are at the party. I went to Hollywood. I'm in the UK right now. Right now my children are sleeping upstairs. But 2 weeks ago, you know, dad being single, I was in Hollywood with Baxter. And after the nightclubs, we'd go up into the Hollywood Hills to the Hollywood Hills parties. And you don't have to show up if you don't want. Those parties are happening with or without you. But I'm telling you, they're great parties. So you're going to want to play cold approach pickup if you're going to want to draw beautiful women into your life and not have to somehow try to convince yourself that pressing keys is going to lead to sexual adventure.
So, do you think cold approach is still the best methodology to acquire leads versus, you know, using dating apps or, because I remember back in the 2000s, like if you had a dating app profile, people laughed at you. But nowadays, it's extremely common, or Instagram or whatever it may be. Do you think that cold approach is the king of getting leads and sources?
Well, there are 5 levels of game. Have we talked about those before? Have you heard about the 5 levels of game? The first level is not opening girls by themselves. You know, opening a girl by themselves is level 0 game. It's bonus rounds. Level 1 game is opening a group of people. Level 2 game is allowing adjacent sets to create social proofs, so that it's what we call merging. You merge sets. That's level 2 game, where you can merge sets together and be a part of a crowd around you and entertaining 2 sets together and letting them mix and merge and mingle and occupy each other so you can isolate your selected interest. Level 3 game is allowing last night's successes to assist you in this night's successes. That is, bring people to the public gathering with you. Women you've met the night before or the week before, invite them out. That's level 3 game. Level 4 game is letting last month's successes to assist you in this month's successes. That's bringing them out to a barbecue 2 p.m. on a Sunday. And when that happens, you can only invite the people you've met over the last month and their friends, so you get a kick-ass party happen. That's social circle game. And then level 5 game is something that I've played on VH1, and that is hot game or celeb game, demonstrating higher value and uploading DHVs into people's heads prior to your arrival. And people do that now with Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of room for play in all of that. That is all a part of cold approach pickup. So to say that some guy looking at swiping pictures one by one, not seeing the face, designing the face that you want, and finding specifically within the database those who look as close to the image as possible. They don't do that. They have you swipe and offend you with girls that clearly are not your type, but you know, the algorithm doesn't know your type, so you just go through. Which guy is going to fare better? The guy who practices his social skills in real world social gatherings, or the guy who's swiping, getting a bunch of first dates only to abysmally fail by never getting a second date?
Mm-hmm.
Which skill set do you want to develop? I leave that up to those listening.
Gotcha.
We do actually call online dating apps -1 level of game. Doesn't mean you can't do it, but it's time consuming. And then we have a level 0 as well. Direct game, opening the 1 set.
Gotcha. I think building those skills is important because you're right. You go on dating apps, you swipe left all the time. You may not get a match, you meet them in real time, and in person. But the problem is those skills that you need to actually cold approach are needed for the date. And if you can't go on a date successfully, then what's the point? So that's a good take.
Precisely. Very, very, very solid idea.
Yeah. And the other thing too, which I've always liked about cold approach, is you're kind of able to deal, like let's say you're not the most attractive guy. Well, if you meet her in person and you're charismatic and you're able to tell good stories, you'll be able to make up for that, you know, in person by being charming and charismatic. Which, real quick, Mystery, just so the audience can get an idea, can you take us through maybe what a DHV story, like one of the short DHV stories that you would use in field, maybe one of your openers into a DHV story, etc., so people can get an idea of how this actually works? Because it's actually people might think, oh my God, this is so complicated, A1, A2, A3, but you actually naturally do this anytime you deal with a woman if you get laid. Like you actually did all these steps to some degree. Maybe some are more accentuated than others, but if you're closing girls and going on dates and everything, you're doing this. So can you give the people like an example of what it would look like?
Oh boy. I wish one of you were cuter. And I could pick you up. Good luck to me. No, I'll show you something that I've been working on.
Sure.
Got a lighter here. I am in the UK right now, but as you can see, I am fiercely Canadian.
Yeah.
Watch this. Magic. Watching. Watching. I've been working on that. I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
If that's not fun, then maybe this is more fun.
Oh.
Double hand vanish. Oh yeah.
Wait a second.
Oh yeah. Magic is in fact real.
Yeah. And I was actually going to show.
You just reach up, grab, bring it back.
Yo.
No way. No way.
Let's go.
Wait a minute. Yo, Chris Angel?
And magic done live is much more impressive than on video.
Yeah.
But yes, magic is in fact real. Just a little taste.
Yeah. And I actually
you can do it at home yourself. There's just a joke involved.
Yeah.
All you have to do is get everyone's attention with it.
Yep.
Get everyone's attention with it first. You literally open up a group of girls, if it's a 5 set, with a lighter.
Yeah.
You open it with a lighter and then do the joke, and they expect magic, and you do that and you say, it's a miracle. That's it.
Yeah.
But it opens the set, and it opens it in a very clever way. It conveys your emotional state.
Yeah.
What is my emotional state when I'm joking with people?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm, screwing with them? What's happening? I'm conveying that my emotional state is non-threatening, playful, right? And I'm perhaps even in a good state. I'm happy. A smile helps.
Yeah.
Right? So they'll be non-threatened by your approach. Some men are scary looking. Mm-hmm. They've got resting bitch face, as they say, also known as Yeah, just bitch face. We'll just call it that. What else do we call it, Dexter?
Resting bastard face.
That's good enough. Exactly. So if we smile as a part of our opener, we convey our current emotional state, and we don't trigger fear of the approach. They don't fear us. So if you just don't smile, they're going to side on caution. That was the idea I wanted to get at. They're going to side on caution, and they're going to feel an adrenaline release. They're going to feel fear, and it'll come as social anxiety. And that social anxiety goes away when you just screw with them with a lighter and smile.
And I'll tell you this.
A good example would be Matador. Matador was so pumped up, wasn't he? And he wouldn't smile at the beginning.
That's right. Season 1 of The Pickup Artist, he was big, but season 2, he became huge. This is my co-star and wingman on The Pickup Artist TV show. Anyone who's watched that show will know how big Matador is. And if he doesn't smile, he's carrying what appear to be his arms are guns. So he walks into a room and it's very intimidating. And he, had a Hollywood smile. He had a celebrity smile. And that was so charismatic that women were not threatened by him. They were drawn to him. That's a learning lesson. The smile goes a long way.
Yeah. And I find it very interesting, and for the audience, right? Like you demonstrated so many different things just by doing that, right? So you demonstrate, right, like being playful, funny, sense of humor is disarming, because most guys that approach girls, they're coming on some creepy type stuff, right? So if you're able to do that, it shows social calibration. And then you add to it and you're like, oh, I was just messing with you guys, but I actually can do magic, which I want to talk to you about that as well. You are a magician, very skilled. You incorporated it into your game. How did you get started with magic, and how much does it impact your sets?
Attraction magic. I think it impacts my sets a lot because as a magician, I love to perform magic. I perform magic in virtually every set that I approach. I may not open with it, but at some point in my set, they're going to discover that I'm a magician. Even when they ask me the question, one of the autoresponder questions is, what do you do? I say, would you like me to tell you or show you? Much better than saying, I'm a magician. You want to see some magic? It's just, it brings it out in the autoresponder question. What's your name? Instead of saying Eric, I say my stage name is Mystery. My friends call me Mystery. I'm a full-grown man with a nickname. I can't get rid of it. But my real name is Eric. I'm not hiding. Much better than saying, when asked the question, what's your name? Eric. Boring. But the other one is just more interesting to say, never been heard before. And I'm Mystery in field. It's a rapport breaker in many ways. So I have that autoresponder handled. Where are you from? Instead of saying Canada, I say, I am from the same place that brought you Justin Bieber. Where am I from? And they say Canada. And I say, no, hell. Yes, Canada. It's clean.
Yeah. See,
I do the same thing, man.
And it's really, and I really want the audience to grasp this, because like here we're just joking around, right? Like, you're saying this to the girl or whatever, but what guys don't understand is like, when you do this with women and you're playful like this and you have the wittiness to be able to do this and you're able to, take a very mundane question that 99% of guys answer in a boring fashion and you're able to spice it up and make it interesting, girls don't forget that shit. No girl's going to forget you coming up with a lighter like this and doing that. That no dude has probably ever done that in their life. And I think that's what's so important about what you teach these guys on how to run pickup, is like it makes you memorable and stand out.
It's unique. At least more unique than how you do it. It's old. It's been done. It's hacked. We need better openers.
I got a question for you, Mystery.
That's so good.
This actually perfectly segues into peacocking. Can you talk? Because I would say you're the person that popularized a lot of these terms actually. What is peacocking? How can people go about it in today's day and age, and why is it so important?
Okay, well, it's not going away. We'll start there. Peacocking refers to a man wearing outrageous clothing, not outrageous, just unique clothing that is maybe a bit cumbersome, like the plume of a peacock's tail. He dresses outlandishly, colorfully, like a peacock in order to stand out and convey some social status in doing so. Like, for instance, the man who wears a fur coat in the club, or in my case, a faux fur coat. You know, this is unreal, right? That's peacocking. Peacocking also includes those who wear tattoos. All tattoos are peacocking. Women, there are millions and millions and millions of women on the planet who have tattoos. They're all peacocking. That's all built in peacocking. This here, I've got gauges, peacocking. I've got this. This is adding to the peacocking, right? Even this item here that I'm wearing, you know, carrying this thing here, you can see on the back. It's a unique look. It's peacocking.
Gotcha.
So it's not going away. People who stand out, women do it especially well. And when you go to a mall, you'll see they have so many clothing options, but men have less clothing options. That's why we need to get creative.
Yeah.
Stand out. It takes more social savvy because, you know, when I paint my nails black, people are going to say, why do you paint your nails black? Right? So you have to get used to the social, you know, the heightened social, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? Social what? Social pressures?
Okay, yeah.
Pressures, it's a good enough word.
I want to say...
For those interactions, yeah.
I was going to say, when I watched, and it's crazy, I remember this almost, 20 years later. When I watched the show, I remember you would wear, boots that made you taller, the goggles, the hats, the snowboard goggles, etc. And if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong, you generally recommend that every man, when they go out and they're trying, running game, to have at least one piece of peacocking clothing item, whether it's a necklace, maybe jewelry or something like that. Do you think that they should still have one piece, or should they have more nowadays to stand out in a very competitive dating marketplace with the internet around and social media? How should men go about peacocking in today's day and age?
Well, the idea of wearing one is to say to people, wear at least one interesting item, and it could be a necklace, so that if a woman wants to approach you, you're giving her an open invitation to by her saying, oh, that's really nice.
Bam.
What is that? Where'd you get that? And that is an indicator of interest. So really what you're doing is you're eliciting IOIs by peacocking.
Gotcha.
So I'll wear faux fur, and anyone else, any girl who wears fur will hug me. It's like the fur club. Try it. You'll see. It works. We've got lots of footage, infield footage examples of me running around Las Vegas in a fur coat. And while it looks ostentatious, it really drew a crowd. It allowed people to come in, meet me, interact with me, hug me, touch my fur, right? Ask if it's real. And I say it's unreal. Or do you know how many polyesters died for this coat? So I have my sound bites that are connected with my peacock gear. And you should have sound bites ready to respond to when they ask you about your necklace. It should be more interesting than I bought it at the mall.
Yep.
Yep. Mall. Much better than that is needed, right?
But even more powerful if you have two girls on your arm and you're peacocked.
Yep. Yeah, huge demonstration.
Rockstar status.
Yep.
That's right. And if they're peacock too, and you look like you're, in the same band, even better.
I would argue it starts online nowadays with Instagram. So girls peacock in different ways.
No, for you maybe. You didn't get to the party in the Hollywood Hills, did you? You missed out, man. You missed the party.
Well,
you stayed home, didn't you?
I was gonna segue.
You stayed home. You could have gone to the party.
I was gonna segue. So Instagram starts the party off for me. The girls come from DMs. Then we go to the party. Even more girls show up. And from the very beginning, they saw the lifestyle that, oh, this is fun. This guy's fun. I want to be around him. We meet up at the party. We get more girls to join our party, and then from there we have a great time. That's how I see it, at least.
Well, that's level 4 game. You're playing social circle game. That's great. But let's not be disappointed if you're new to a city and you don't know anyone, and you go to a club and he's got all the girls, that's you. You've got all the girls, and he's got none, and he'll say, "Oh, how unfair," when he didn't do the work. So you got to start somewhere in a new city, and you start with the 3 set. You just go to a public gathering, open the first set on the left, build a solid base, and then from there you can open adjacent sets, work your night, merging sets as you get to know who's potentially single.
We have to do that every boot camp. We have to touch down. We go there a day or two before. We do a recce around the area. And then by the end of the long weekend on boot camp, we have our own social circle there.
Bam.
And we have bittersweet goodbyes. You know, we have to leave the city. We have to go to the next city. And we have to say goodbye to the new girlfriends we've made. It's bittersweet.
Damn.
Let me ask you this, Mystery. We talked a bit about indicators of interest, aka IOIs. What are some of the most common IOIs that guys miss? Because there's so many times where girls are giving guys hints. Guys might not have the social calibration or skill set to be able to identify these IOIs and make a move or escalate, right? Or they're scared to escalate because they don't see them. What are some common IOIs that guys miss?
Well, I think that you don't have to kiss the girl in C1. You don't have to. Mm-hmm. You can say to her, expect nothing but great conversation in order to get the contact exchange. And then you preserve her comfort so that you can see her on a date too, rather than kissing her too soon and she gets buyer's remorse. Mm-hmm. So it all depends on her, whether you're going to kiss her in C1 or in C2, or you're going to again wait until C3 where you're in a private location and that's the first time you're kissing. But you should have some kino escalation. You can't kiss her if she's uncomfortable holding your hand, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to do an escalation ladder, certainly. What was the question exactly, though? I was just giving a background.
IOIs that guys often miss from women, and they're and that are a little bit more subtle. We've talked about like some common ones, like touching her hair, looking up at you, laughing at your jokes, touching you, maybe scratching your arm like this. But what are some other ones that guys often miss?
Well, they could be mirroring and matching you as well.
Okay. Can you explain what mirroring is real fast for the audience?
Yeah, when they're literally copying, if say they're sitting in front of you, they're copying what you're doing. You fold your arms, they fold your arms. You lean back, they lean back. You cross your legs, they cross their legs. Mm-hmm. So you can mirror match and then start leading it if you see that they're doing that as well.
Gotcha.
So you can force IOIs as well.
How do you go about that?
There's many ways, but say that you're the other side of the bar, across a long bar, mm-hmm. and you don't want to go round and talk and it's loud and so on. You want to test it first. So one is called the peekaboo. So you just go like that, and then they look. If they mirror and match, then the game is afoot. They're interested. They're playing along, you know.
Okay.
What was funny when you were 5 is funny again. And and it just shows a different level of playfulness, that you're different. You've caught their eye.
Gotcha.
And it tells you where they're at with you.
Rob.
And then you can go straight in.
How important is eye contact when it comes to getting the first approach?
Well, I think it's good, but we go in without eye contact as well. You know, so either way,
we generally go in without eye contact prior to the approach. Mm-hmm. You just approach the set and engage. You know, it's over the shoulder stuff too. Hey guys, quick question. First time they see you, they see your faces with a smile. Hey guys, quick question. Right, and then you stack to any type of opener. So
I got a question.
And you can't get blown out that way over the shoulder.
I got a question.
You're not even
guys. You just mentioned something there that brought back some memories. So the over the shoulder, right? You were really big, and this is something to this day I still use and I still talk about. If I cold approach a girl, I'm never standing right in front of her. I always have my body bladed as if I'm about to leave, and potentially set up like a false time constraint or whatever. And I learned that from you, actually, Mystery. Can you talk about the importance of when you approach a girl, you don't want it where you're directly in front of her and might make her feel intimidated, but you also want to kind of let her know that, hey, this interaction isn't going to last long. I think a lot of guys kind of mess this up and they make themselves almost too available. where the girl doesn't know if you're going to sit there and try to talk to her for 3 hours, or she doesn't know if you're going to leave. Can you talk about the importance of like blading your body a certain way? You just did the over the shoulder one real fast. Little subtle things like this, how it makes a big difference.
Sure. I use it maybe 20% of the time in a night. I'll do over the shoulder a couple times in a night, certainly. But it's important to note that what we've just structured here is a hypothetical situation of me approaching a girl. Women of beauty are rarely alone.
True.
They're usually in groups. So if we're going to fantasize repeatedly, instead of fantasizing and practicing and training and preparing for some future event where she's alone, we're not going to be meeting girls alone. That's so rare. They're usually with beautiful girls as well. They're usually with guys. Mixed sets, believe it or not, are approachable. They're approachable. They're lucrative. I've gotten girlfriends from mixed sets. You can be given the girl by the guys. They just bow down to you having a connection with her that they didn't have. They can give you the girl if they like you. So you have to win over the entire set. So it's really all about group theory.
Yeah.
Less about single approach theory, which is what the scenario is constructing.
I got a question for you, because I think this is something that actually trips a lot of guys up. They'll see a group of girls and a group of guys and they'll be scared to approach. How can someone go about approaching a mixed set without necessarily, I guess, because I think people, what guys are afraid of is getting rejected, potentially getting attacked by the males in a group. They don't know what the social dynamics are, etc. How can someone go about opening up a mixed set?
Well, there's two major schools of thought in pickup. It's not just day game and night game. It's single approach theory versus group theory, right? Day game, by the way, usually is single approach theory game, right? There's also two schools of thought. There's the verses of direct and indirect. There's direct game where you are opening in seduction, basically. To me, that's an error. And then there's the far more it gives you far greater maneuverability. It's far more powerful, in my opinion, and that's opening indirect. And that's the indirect school of thought. So opening a group of people, if one of the people in the group is the woman of interest's father, for instance, well, then you're going to have to win over the father, right? For instance, my 17-year-old daughter has a boyfriend, and he's totally won me over. I think it's a wonderful match, a wonderful union. He comes over and hangs out, and he's a part of the family now. So, he didn't just pick her up, he picked me up too. That's group theory.
Yeah, the importance of getting, I remember when I used to do a lot of cold approach back in the day, and there were guys in the set. What I would do, and I want to get your take on this, I would actually go up to the guys kind of on the side. I'd be like, hey, look, man, that girl in there, that girl right there, she's pretty hot. I just want to make sure I'm not stepping on no toes. Is that your girlfriend or whatever? And what I've noticed is when you get permission from the guys in the group, or you talk to the guy that seems to be the leader of the group, and you kind of speak with him first, he'll tell you, oh yeah, no, she's single, man, or oh no, that's my girl, but this one is single. Like, since so many guys don't have that social awareness to do that, they'll almost throw you at the girl sometimes because that girl might be cock blocking someone else or annoying them. So it's amazing how, like, sometimes just starting a conversation with that guy and being polite and like trying to ascertain what's going on, they'll actually help you out a lot of the times. That's what I've noticed. Very rarely they'll say, fuck out of here.
I like it. It's got legs. Yeah. I like it. And it reminds me of, it's a gambit. It's a soundbite that you use, but it's an actual gambit in order to find out the information you're looking for, right? Another gambit is, and one that I am now going to, we talked about earlier that I'm going to give you, is how do you sit at a table that you haven't bought a bottle at? Here's how. You open a two set of women, you win them over, you get into lock-in position so that you can lean back and have them join you for a bit. You build enough comfort so you can then say to them, let's go make some friends, which is moving the set. Come on, let's go make some friends. And you walk over to the first guy that has a bottle, and you say, hey, these girls wanted to meet you. So you're sitting at his table. He gives your girl a drink. He gives you a drink. He gives the other girl a drink. He also splits your 2-set because you can't isolate in a 2-set. He occupies the obstacle for you. You get your target. He gets the obstacle, and everyone's happy. And if he says no, how many tables are in there? You just say, all right, nice meeting you. Have a good one, as he sits alone at his table. Then you go to the next table. It's inevitable that you're going to be sitting at a table with a drink in your hand and the 2-set split. Nice. Isn't that a good game plan?
No, that's actually really clever and really smart.
And we always get on a VIP table, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how if you walk in with some girls, the doors that open up for you. And then I can only imagine if you have 3 or 4, they won't even probably think twice. Like, oh yeah, okay, guys, come on in, man. Thanks.
Mystery, you just expose how I do clubs for free, basically. I go to clubs with girls and I get in for free, and I go to tables for free doing that same exact method pretty much every night.
That's fantastic. And the truth is, everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I have a game plan. Who goes and parties with a wing? You know, Myron?
Not as much anymore. With Mo, no. But it's been a while since I've actually like went to the club and like ran game like that. Well,
I have a good game plan when you have a wingman with you.
Sure, please.
Instead of the 2 of you opening a set together, what happens is one of them, you know, one guy talks while the other guy shuts up and stands behind the other guy, right? The first guy. The first guy has his back to the second guy because he's talking to the girls. So the second guy is lowering the first guy's value, right? And if the first guy can't open the set, the second guy doesn't get a chance to open the set. It's not right. Work your own sets. Separate when you go in. Baxter and I, we separate sometimes before we even get to the bar. We'll separate. We'll open adjacent sets and then draw them back to each other.
Gotcha.
So when I get to the point 5 minutes in, when I say, hey, let me introduce you to a good friend of mine. He's in here. He already has girls with him. So he looks cool. Bam. So my value raises. And then vice versa, he does the same thing. So he's got girls and I've got girls. But what he'll do is he'll big me up to one of the girls.
Bam.
One of the girls he's met. And I'll do the same for one of the girls, you know, the prettiest generally, or the one that I think is the most compatible with my best buddy. And I'll big him up. So we do accomplishment introductions for each other. And then we mix and merge the sets and we get our targets.
Bam. And I'm assuming that, you know, Baxter has a type, you have a type, and he's kind of looking for that while simultaneously looking for his type at the same time? Or do you guys just kind of go, are you guys not as picky with the women, or how does that go?
I'm very picky.
You're very picky? Okay.
Yeah, I think we're extremely picky.
Okay. What are your guys' requirements?
Oof, there's lots of criteria going on.
Yeah.
But,
you know, what I'm looking for...
Let's say love.
Yeah, love is good. What I'm looking for is my dream girl. Someone who can become a travel partner with me. I do travel a lot. The lifestyle is fun. On weekends, we go to nightclub events, and it would be nice to have a beautiful woman on my arm to enjoy that lifestyle. So I'd like a travel partner. I'd like to be a part of a duo, you know, a double act.
Gotcha.
What about you, Baxter?
Well, I want to talk about, we did a whole tour advertising of Mystery is single. Let's, you know, he's going to get a girlfriend. He's single. And it was a big tour. I think it was about 8 or 10 cities around the world. On the second day, on Saturday, in the queue up to the club, he meets a girl, goes inside, gets 2 others to sort of fight over him verbally and grab him and kiss him for ownership. And that was his girlfriend for 3 months. So we had to change the tour marketing. but it was fun while it lasted for one night.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's
that was
funny.
a 4-month relationship. Yeah, sometimes relationships complete. They don't end; they complete, and that's okay.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
I like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Can you give the people, because you're real big on telling stories. Obviously, you got the skill set with magic too, which is fucking, that's a that's a like, literally a deadly weapon right there. Because very few people know magic, and be able to do that in a club in front of girls, they're gonna go crazy.
I have a trick. You know what it is in the club?
What?
Because I'm really black. I just run in the corner, disappear, come back. Hey, I'm here. I smile. I know my. Go ahead.
Okay. Now you got me off my train of thought.
Storytelling.
Storytelling. Yes.
Storytelling.
Mystery, can you give us an example of a DHV story that you would tell? Maybe somebody in the audience can kind of tinker with and use it as their own.
Oh, to use as their own.
Yeah. Well, they could tinker it up, obviously.
Touching the Hollywood sign.
Yeah, fair. Everything that is a DHV for me is personalized to me.
Gotcha.
These are my accomplishments, right? The first time that I met Leo DiCaprio, he said to me, "Mystery." Those were his first words to me. That was a name drop gambit.
Oh, wow.
It's true, but it's a name drop gambit. Doesn't work in Hollywood. Don't use it. But everywhere else in the world, people are fascinated by the people you've met. You know, I've met Will Smith. I've met Chris Rock. So that slap heard around the world, felt around the world, was very personal to me.
Yeah.
You know, those are some of my stories. Those are my Hollywood stories. There's quite a few of them. But if you want to make one, fit generically, you have to fit it to your city, to your life. I can only give examples of ones that I've done. The Hollywood sign, as Baxter brought up. I once had a girlfriend who, if you're so inclined to rating women from 1 to 10, which I'd never do, she was off the charts, beautiful. She was, in fact, too beautiful. I'll tell you why in a sec. But what we did is we jumped the fence at the Hollywood sign and we climbed up to touch it for good luck. Trust me, it works. She was an actress. I won't tell you who, but you've most likely seen her work. She was too pretty. She was getting B movie roles. And if you look at women who aren't as attractive, but they have personality, like Drew Barrymore, she's just a wonderful, wonderful human being. And we know that. But she's got a departure from, pure absolute beauty. And that's what makes her unique. So there's beauty in any imperfections, right? And that's something that, my girlfriend at the time didn't have. But we went up there and we looked down from the Hollywood sign and we saw the perimeter. We saw the puzzle that is Hollywood for her and looked down and knew that everyone you're going to have to impress, everyone that you're impressed by in the movie industry is down there. You can see it. And the puzzle becomes much more attainable. It becomes smaller. And so she did really good work. I'm really proud of her. And the gambit. Where are the DHVs?
There's a bunch of them. So you illustrated that you have a girl. You illustrated that you have a girl that's very attractive. You illustrated that you have a girl that's in show business, that's an actress. People have probably seen her movies before. You took her on an adventure. You went ahead, which is risk-taking. You went up and touched the Hollywood sign. You're in Los Angeles, which shows social proof to a degree, especially being with an actress. Pre-selection because you have a girl. Pretty much. Let's see here. I think you pretty much touched
all
every attraction trigger.
Yeah.
Besides, protect a loved one because you were bigging her up, speaking well about her. Willingness to emote, I would say, is probably because you're able to identify with her not getting the role and feeling bad for her for not getting the role because you feel that she earns it. Pretty much
social proof.
All of the
social
5
proof.
triggers were shown during the course of that story.
And that's one of many.
Yeah.
So if you sequence a series of DHV stories together, you will elicit indicators of interest at some point. When she starts showing those IOIs, when you get 2 or 3 of them, start to qualify her.
Yep.
Qualifying is a high-valued male behavior. You only need 80% of attraction to then begin qualifying, where she'll want to qualify, whereby the very act of qualifying will get you the rest of the 20% of attraction. It's a high-valued male behavior. Make sense?
Yeah.
And then you're off into comfort with her, where she legitimately likes you for reasons that she's witnessed or has heard from you that she is responding to. She's reacting to the DHVs with IOIs. As David D'Angelo says of Double Your Dating, attraction is not a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a gambit for everything. There's qualifying gambits, and so anything you need, there's a gambit for it.
Mm-hmm. What would you guys say is the number one? Because you guys have worked with probably thousands of men at this point. You guys have been doing this for a very long time. You guys are out there in the field, still hitting it hard, traveling all over the place, meeting men from different, religions, cultures, countries, everything. What have you guys noticed is the biggest mistake that most guys make during this pickup process?
Well, the first one is they don't smile on the in.
Oh, okay.
That's the first one. They don't have to smile the whole way through the set.
Mm-hmm.
Next is they don't apply structure to their game.
Okay.
Wow.
So they're just kind of just winging it?
They don't have material to fill in the timeline. They don't have gambits. They don't have opener gambits. That is to know your opener, to know what you're going to say before you have even left the house, never mind before you've approached the set. That's a failure, not knowing what to say. You'll be much more confident in opening a set if you have an opener.
Mm-hmm.
We say to go out of about 30, when you're starting out, 30 text files, gambits, openers, routines, a total of 30. But a good amount would be around 300.
300 text files in your head will build a robust pickup system to handle a myriad of approach scenarios.
Yes.
About 300 text files. Some of them are one-liners. Like if I drop something by accident, I'll say, leave it there, it's being punished.
Yep.
Right? Or another one is, that's my floor show.
Mm-hmm.
Or did you feel that gravity pull? It was like an earthquake. Did you feel that? Just pulled it right on my hand. You okay? So there's 3 ways of getting around dropping something, for instance.
Yeah.
We always have gambits. Some of them are large gambits. It's being gambit centered, in fact. Having gambits to open, those are openers, and you can stack openers. They're short stories, they're quick. When a topic doesn't hit, instead of giving up, like a comedian, like a pro comedian, he doesn't get the laugh, he doesn't get an F, he just moves forward to the next one.
Yeah.
But it's the amateur that gives up when he doesn't get a laugh.
Yeah.
Rather than move on to the next topic and keep the show going. The show must go on. People just shoot themselves in the foot by going in and hoping to get IOIs rather than eliciting them. And what happens when they open and they don't get these IOIs, they feel like they're being rejected because, she's not interested in me. You didn't make her interested in you. You weren't interesting. So you have to be interesting in order to get a woman interested in you. It's a lot like a roller coaster ride. A roller coaster is an attraction, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean you want to mount it. You just want to take a ride. You just are interested in seeing what's up. It's an attraction. That's what I am. I'm not getting her physically attracted to me. I'm just getting her interested. That level of attraction. We baby step it. You just get them interested in you at first. You become an interesting man in order to do that. Those are some thoughts there.
Okay.
I had a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you guys are well traveled, traveling the world, doing different seminars and activities with your students. But let me ask you this: when it comes to countries, what is the best country to pick up women in your opinion?
Well, we've got a handful, I would say.
Helsinki, Finland. I love Helsinki. The women are beautiful. The women are intelligent. The women are educated. The women are beautiful, blue-eyed, generally blonde.
Count me in.
Gorgeous women.
I'm there.
A mix between Swedish and Russian, an alien beauty, and the entire city of Helsinki comes out on Vappu Festival on that weekend. They come out and they drink copious amounts of Sima, which is a champagne that they drink on the streets. Everyone comes out, so you get to see all the beauty that city is filled with. Very, very grateful to have gone out there many times with Baxter. I did have a 3-year relationship with a beautiful young lady who was Finnish. So we've gone back many times. We'll go again. If I were to
we always do a boot camp every year there.
That's right.
Actually, you can check out some videos of it. If you put in Mystery Helsinki, you'll find.
Hey, count us there,
adventures.
brother. We will be there.
Yeah, that's a first.
Finland.
I've never heard anyone say Finland. Okay.
You said white blue eyes, nigga. I'm there. What's the last nigga?
Well, the most beautiful girls in Hollywood are not from Hollywood. They're from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Where are they from? They're from Europe.
You're right.
Yeah.
They're from Finland. They're from Sweden. They're from Russia. Those are some of the most beautiful women that are in Hollywood, or the tourists that you'll find even all the way to Indonesia. If you go to Bali, you're going to find Russian clubs, entire nights with Russian music and beautiful Russian girls who are on vacation. We're looking for the tourists generally. When we travel, even to Spain, we're doing a boot camp in Spain next. I'll be focused mostly, respectfully, on the tourists that show up there. Yeah, so anywhere in the world will do, as long as it's a target-rich city, a target-rich venue that we go to.
2 clubs a night, sometimes free.
That's right. We do many venues per weekend, so that we keep it fresh and we keep it busy.
Keep it fresh. I like that. Yo, real quick.
What about Baxter? What's your favorite place, Baxter?
Yeah, Baxter. Yeah, for you.
So we know Mysteries is Finland.
Helsinki as well,
Okay.
Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kiev, Odessa, which is in Ukraine.
Yep.
Anywhere in Scandinavia. Iceland's amazing.
Gotcha. What is the worst place for you guys that you dislike
in
the
your
most
opinion?
For pickup?
I don't want to diss anywhere, really, but
keep it real, man. You can say it.
Keep it a bean.
America, the UK, it whatever you guys. What do you guys think? What's the worst?
What's the worst we bring?
Oh, I know. I'll give one.
Yeah.
And I love the city, but the women aren't,
For you.
For me. San Francisco.
San Fran sucks.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna give the excuse of maybe I've been to the wrong venues.
Too many dudes over there, man.
Get to the right.
No,
venues.
you're right.
I just
a lot of complaints about SF.
The beautiful women are.
Yeah.
Where they.
No, that's bro. That I've heard from literally a million guys that San Fran is literally one of the worst places for dating for men.
Yeah.
There's not enough women. It's mostly dudes because obviously the tech industry over there, it's expensive. I've heard many complaints about San Francisco. What about you, Baxter?
I think Dublin, and I am part Irish.
Oh, okay.
Dublin, but I'm not a fan of Dublin.
Okay.
So every guy has a type. Maybe it might be boobs, ass, facial structures, whatever it may be. That mystery. What is your type?
Face and personality.
So you're looking.
Of course, she'll have a beautiful body. She'll be fit. However, face and personality for me.
Wow.
I a sucker for a beautiful face, and I'm looking for a strong personality who could match mine. Mystery and who in this double act. I'm looking for someone who will travel with me.
So
be a part of it.
No ass, no titties, don't matter.
Are we talking about?
Always helps a little. It depends on the girl, doesn't it? It just depends.
Wait. Excuse me, Baxter. Sorry.
Yeah.
We were talking about titties. Tell me more.
Okay. Here we go. See, I'm an ass guy. I'm black, bro. Madagascar. Hey, just keep it real. So, hey, you know what? We'll go mystery. I'll pick to go with the ass. You get to go with the titties. Let's go.
What do you guys think about Miami? I'd like to get your guys' take on doing pickup in Miami.
Yeah, I lived there. I lived in just outside of South Beach,
really?
Grove.
Okay.
And
when was this?
For a year with Matador and Love Drop. Love Drop from the book Revelation, Matador from the TV show. And we lived there a year together in a mansion and pulled, copious amounts of girls back to our pad from South Beach. I love South Beach, but it's its own animal. It's its own game.
Yeah.
Just like New York is its own game, getting up to those rooftop patio bars, getting in is very different from Las Vegas.
Yep.
That has its own game too, for good or for bad.
When were you in Miami? When were you living here?
I don't recall. It must be 15 years ago now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was after the TV shows.
Gotcha.
Or during the TV shows and after.
I'll tell you this: South Beach has one of the best populations for tourists. Like that's where they always go. South Beach.
Yeah. Miami's changed a lot, man. When you come back, you'll see it's changed significantly from back then. It's actually becoming like a major city now because all the New Yorkers are moving down here, in general. From the cost of living being too high in New York and everything else like that.
I find it's got a very sexual vibe. It's quite friendly and it's got a more sexual vibe there than anywhere else I've been in America.
Yeah, it definitely can.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I think we got the highest concentration of attractive women here as well, versus other places in the United States.
Well, let's not mince words here. It's Helsinki.
Helsinki? You think Helsinki has the most? Well, I mean, in the United States, I've never been to Helsinki, so I can't comment.
You guys got to come with us next time, then.
Bro, we are down.
Yeah, I'm down.
I don't know, Myron, are you down?
No, I'm down, man. I like Europe.
Listen,
Europe is. I mean, yeah.
We need to explore more.
Yep.
Real quick, mystery. Were you able to reconnect with Neil Strauss at all?
Yeah.
Or no?
Oh, we got to read the chats. We forgot.
Well, let me tell you, I don't feel like I've disconnected from Neil. However, he's got 2 children. I've got 2 children. Mine are in the UK. He's in Malibu right now. So, we don't get to see each other enough. And I was there for 10 days and we couldn't connect during that time. We were both apologetic about it. And we plan on seeing each other the next time I'm down, which will be in a few months. So I'm definitely, still good friends with him. I love the man. He's a genius. He's a great writer, a gifted writer. And I look up to him. Yeah. I think he does such great work. It humbles me. I've written books too, but his books are, I can easily say it, his books are damn good. The book, The Game. Hey, did you hear it maybe turned into a movie? I heard that years ago with James Franco playing me, but that got scuttled. It was written about in the Hollywood Reporter, though, so, I thought that it was really going to happen. So that's still pending with Neil. Perhaps that will one day come out. One of his books has already turned into a movie, and that is The Dirt, about Motley Crue on Netflix. Maybe they'll do more.
That'd be dope. Last thing from me before we read the chats. Rob, you met Mystery back in the day, but what told you, like, obviously, he was with girls, you met him out in the game, but what told you, what, this guy right here is going to be my partner, we're going to ride out to the sunset, make seminars, make people happy, change their lives. What told you that Mystery was that guy for you?
Well, I mean, I was working as a director in a pickup company already in London, and Mystery was doing a book tour, and I was running VIP clubs all over London as well. So I said, I've got a space for you, and afterwards everyone could just party in the VIP club. So Mystery came down, met over 100 people, did a free 2-hour talk, did autographs, pictures, and then we met a couple of girls, bounced somewhere else, and then somewhere else, and decided to be wingmen for a while, went on the road, did a few boot camps, and then just kept doing them. the rest was history.
Wow, simple stuff. All right,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Guys in the chat.
We
Go
have
ahead.
similar sensibilities, right? We've got commonalities. We both absolutely love women.
Gotcha.
There you
So
go.
guys, I'll read the chats real quick. If you guys got questions for these two legends, let me know. Get them in now, and then we'll close out here soon. Cam Two Time says, as a coach, it's insane to me how some parents treat and look at their kids. A lot of these kids' home situations are ridiculous, not from a living condition standpoint. A lot of these kids are mentally fucked up because of what the parents did to them. SMH. Wait, what? Is that from today?
Yeah, that's that.
That's a random one.
That's
okay.
random. Okay. Glock or Geek to Chic goes, Mystery is one of the godfathers of the PUA RP movement. I remember watching old vids of Mystery Style, Love Drop, Bad Boy, Matador. Such great content, and the tactics can still hold up to this day. No, for sure.
Where's Matador now, actually? Where's he now, Mystery? Matador.
It's a very good question. The truth is, 15 years ago, he dropped me off at the airport, and we said, see you on the flip side, as we normally did. I went to Toronto, and I've never spoken to him since.
Wow.
His ex-girlfriend was asking me where he was, so he hasn't been social. There's no social media for him. I did hear through the grapevine, through a friend of a friend, that he had a child, and that was many years ago. So maybe he's busy.
Understood.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Right over Rashad goes, Mystery, I read the game with you and Neil back in 2008 or so. You guys changed my life. I met my wife because of the Cube game. You are a fucking legend, man. Thank you. Hey, bro. Thank you.
Hold on.
And then anything else?
Yeah.
Oh, two more? Okay. WFNF love from Canada. Keep the good shit up, y'all. Absolutely, man. Slim Mo Bob goes, boxing gave me a positive aggression that regular workouts don't. I'm a truck driver who's on the road and I haven't boxed in a while. Do you think shadow boxing can help me maintain that fighter's aggression? Yeah, definitely can, but you want to be sparring as well. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Caught up?
Real
Cool.
quick, there's an argument, Mystery. You can help me here with this argument, in your opinion. I've been around a lot of celebrities, a lot of artists, and they tell me one place has the baddest girls they've seen. Now, you said, obviously, Helsinki, but they're saying Toronto. Can you tell me why that is, if possible?
Toronto. Baxter and I have our last boot camp. We have just recently, in mid-January, completed a boot camp in Toronto. Negative 17-degree weather.
Damn.
Oh, man.
Holy.
And guess what? Party's still happening, guys.
Yeah.
You know, don't let the rain, don't let the snow, don't let the hail stop you from getting to the party. It's what we call grind to find. We grind. The grind is logistical. It's getting to the party. It's letting go of all the baggage and excuses to not game.
Yeah.
And that's a part of grinding. So you have to get through the rain to get there. And once you get there, you are in a bubble of love. So 90% is grind to find, and 10% is bubble of love. And some people give up in the grind. They just give up. They don't get to the venue, so they don't even have a chance to face beauty head on and strike her heart.
Wow, that's powerful.
No, that's
So, Toronto, yes or no for hotties? Yes? No? Toronto?
There's some gems.
Rooftop patio bars? Yes. Toronto has some beautiful women there. But I'll tell you, generally, it's a great city. If you go with a girl to that city and you go explore it together, I think you'll have way more fun than going there specifically for pickup. The difference between going to Las Vegas for a weekend versus going to Toronto for a weekend, it's different. And you want to spend more time in Toronto. There's a lot of things to do that are good dating, mutual scenarios that you can do on a date.
All right.
shit. Well, no, this was great, man. Okay, I got one more question. What would you say is the most important component in the mystery method that people need to have down packed?
I think the 5 keys.
Okay.
If you get the 5 keys down, The first is structure, which we talked about. The second is material. The third is the delivery of that material. You know, a very important key is the delivery.
Tonality, all of that.
Right? Tonality, pacing, pauses.
Yep.
You know, adding pauses to draw people in, to turn it from simply stimulating the set to captivating the set.
Mm-hmm.
There's volume and velocity. That's another key. Volume is how many sets you do in a night, and velocity is how much time you waffle between sets.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to capture, you know, your time, like use your time wisely, and have many sets in a night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're a newbie, I would recommend 12 sets a night, 12 sets a night.
Bam.
That's the game.
Yeah.
You know, when you read the book, The Game, what was the game we were playing? The game was 12 sets a night, son. That's it. 12 sets a night. And out of that, we would try to draw as many cool groups, you know, are they cool, to our after party, which was at Project Hollywood.
Yeah.
So that was the game. The game was 12 sets a night, 4 nights a week. You know, you go out more than you stay home. And that was to develop a skill set, not just a numbers game to get lots of girls, but rather because some of them had tough times getting girls with the game that they were using. So they had to develop game. And that takes practice.
Yeah.
So you go into a nightclub environment like a dojo, like a practice ground, in order to socialize, get your social skills up to speed for a time in the future when a woman of particular quality comes along. You'll then have the skill set to attract her.
Bam. Well, I would definitely like to do a part 2 in the future. I think we gave you guys just kind of a snippet of, you know, the structure and the game and everything else like that. But I don't want to take up too much of Mystery's time because, guys, he's on UK time. It's very late over there. Mystery, where can the people find you? How could they get in contact with you and Baxter? Please let them know.
Well, we're doing a boot camp in Barcelona end of the month. And if you'd like to train with us live, I think the number one advice I could ever give is seek a mentor. And in this case, seek 2, Mystery and Baxter. We'll be in Barcelona end of the month. You can reach me at Instagram. My Instagram handle is Ask Mystery. And you can find my content, that is, my digital store is filled with pickup-related content that I think you'd find very helpful in my digital store. It's at askmystery.com.
Bam. Guys, he is Mystery. He is Baxter. We had 2 legends on the pod. Definitely want to do a part 2 on this where we get even more into the structure and how to do this. But guys, thank you so much for coming on the pod, man. It was literally an honor. I've been waiting to do this interview for a very long time, and I think the audience was definitely enjoyed it. Got their pens and papers out and learned a lot here.
Trust me, Mystery. I think you read your book like 10 times already. He's a true fan of you, bro.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, bro, you can't talk about pickup unless you talk about Mystery. You just can't. So thank you for pioneering a movement, man, and helping guys understand women, because really you guys did what a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists can never do, which is crack the code to attraction when it comes to intersexual dynamics between the genders.
And you actually solved the mystery.
Fresh.
Come
on, man.
That's great.
The bad jokes, man.
It works, bro. It works. I'm telling you, it works.
So, no, man, thank you guys so much, man. Guys, don't forget to like the video. Check these guys out. AskMystery.com. Check them out on Instagram. They're going to be in Barcelona at the end of the month. I definitely highly suggest if you want to go ahead and get your cold approach up, these are the originators. Get with these guys. Go out to Spain, meet some beautiful women alongside them. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
I ran so far away.